I tell you that it's been a pretty insane last couple of days, it is by no means an exaggeration. So this kind of ties in a little bit with the reading that I'm doing. Well, not a little bit, a lot of it actually. So I'm actually going to show you those because the whole point of doing this was to vlog as I was reading. And I just got really into one of the shamanism books. So I just kept reading and reading, and I didn't really like interrupt myself to share thoughts because I was just highlighting and bookmarking so many things that I figured I could always go back to them if I wanted to share any of those thoughts. So the books that I am reading simultaneously, actually, the first one is this one, Awakening to the Spirit World. And I am on page 140. So I am about halfway because it is like a 300-page book. Yeah, it is like a 300-page book. I completely am in love with this book. I have several tabs of different colors for, here's my little key, for my tab colors. Some of them are just to share. Others are something I want to do eventually. And then I have others tabbed as in things I want to do as soon as possible because they're just so cool. This book, the way I would, not the way I would recommend, but who I would recommend this book to is anybody who is interested in shamanism and doesn't really know much about it. It is a great introduction to shamanism, but it also has information that would be very beneficial to people that are practicing shamanism, but maybe are not actually mentoring with a shaman or are not trying to become shamans. It shows you how to incorporate shamanism in your life, whether that be through seasons, through different time periods, or even on the daily basis, depending on how you like to practice. This book, it's such an easy read, but it has so many good wisdom nuggets that you want to savor it and slow down the reading. So it has been a struggle to read this quickly because I don't want to. But then I keep on telling myself, I'm going to have this book for a while. I can always reread it. I can always go back and really contemplate and sit with some of these exercises. There is quite a bit of exercises in here to try. They're not all labeled exercises. Some of them are. Like this one right here that I highlighted, working with your animal companions. That one's labeled exercise, but there's other things that aren't exercises, but it says you can try this. It talks about, okay, so I'm just going to read the table of contents. So chapter 1, what is shamanism? Chapter 2, the shamanic journey. Chapter 3, reconnecting with nature. Chapter 4, visionary work with weather and environmental changes. Chapter 5, the power of ceremony and ritual. Chapter 6, dreams. Chapter 7, creative art as a bridge. And that's the chapter that I'm on. And every single chapter has something that I want to try or that I want to do or that I want to incorporate with something I already do. It has just been such a beautiful experience reading this book. I'm not done with it yet, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say I recommend this 100%. So I did mention that I am reading 3 books simultaneously because they're all kind of related. So this one is about shamanism in general. It's not talking about just one specific shamanism practice, which the other 2 that I'm reading are. So you've seen these because I said that I was going to read them. They were in my to be read video, but that's Sacred Energies of the Sun and Moon and Cleansing Rites of Curanderismo, both by the wonderful Erika Buenaflor. I am about halfway with both of these as well, about right there, or actually further, but and on this one, I'm actually done with. And the thing that I have to say about these 2 is that it is a very specific way to practice shamanism. And I mean, obviously it says it in the front. It says, you know, Cleansing Rites of Curanderismo, Ancient Mesoamerican Shamanism. So that's the specific type of shamanism that is going to be spoken of in these books. Specifically in the Sacred Energies of the Sun and Moon, she provides you with information about the Mesoamerican peoples, including the Aztec, the Maya, or the Mexica. And then she tells you about the specific deities, the Mesoamerican deities. And then she goes into the things that you can do during these different times of day and night. More than anything, she focuses on the sun, and I really, really appreciated that. I think I already said that. There's not much to say about this book. It's just full of so many great things, and I find myself reaching for this book for myself personally, and I find myself reaching for this book when I am performing a cleansing rite on a client or a loved one. I actually used both of these recently. For this one, it depends how I'm feeling and what time of day it is. So if I feel like I need to pick me up or I want to do something spiritual, but I don't really want to think about it because, you know, sometimes you just end up getting lost in the thought and don't do anything, and we don't want to do that. So I'll just flip through the corresponding time of day, and I'll look through any of the exercises or the journey work or any rites, and I'll see what can I do right now to make me feel better or a little more uplifted or a little more clean or a little more whatever look or vibe I'm going for. So I have been doing that lately. And I actually, the most recent one I did was yesterday, and it was the breath work for that time of day. And it really helped to ease my headache. I had a pretty nasty migraine yesterday. I like performing cleansing rites, not just on myself, but also on my loved ones. I haven't gone completely public with that yet, just because I want to, you know, continue to practice on my loved ones and make sure that I have a solid footing with what I'm doing before I start putting this out there as a service. So I have been keeping documentation of that as well. That's what I have this little notebook for. So I'll keep tabs of like the different cleansing rites that I'm personally wanting to practice, and then putting my twist on them or writing them in a different way that makes more sense to me, but heavily using her book. Also, I keep track of the people that I'm treating, because I also have a somatic approach to things. I don't just like spiritually like to cleanse people without putting my hands on their body. I like to perform cupping therapy and some light massage. I'm not a trained massage therapist, but I have a pretty good feel with my hands. I don't like to claim the title of massage therapist or any type of therapist at the time. I have like a weird relationship with that term that we can go into at another time. But anyways, so I've spoken about it on this channel before when we were talking, I think it was about herbs, and I brought up tobacco. Now in here, and I have it like bookmarked so I could tell you guys, she talks about puro cleansing, and a puro is a cigar, and she talks about how to do a cleansing utilizing the cigar. So me personally, I go to a local smoke shop and I'll purchase however many I need to purchase or want to purchase at the time, because you don't want to also keep, well, I don't know, I guess it doesn't matter, but cigars should be stored a specific way, so I guess it does matter. Anyways, so I wanted to do, I specifically had a spiritual cleansing to do on one of my loved ones. I did that yesterday. And I had originally decided I was going to do a puro cleanse, so I prepared to have this ready for her. And I followed most of her guidelines, but I also did differently things prior, in the middle, and after, just because I think you should, you know, personalize everything, not just for yourself as a practitioner, but also for your loved one or your client. So I definitely used a lot of what she said, but there were certain things that I didn't do, and then things that I definitely did do, and I think I'm just repeating myself now. But I formulated this type of cleansing rite for one of my loved ones, and then the day before that, I asked my sister if she would like to have this type of cleansing done, and she said she would love to. So I quickly gathered my stuff and I set out to do it in our designated area. And it had a very profound effect on both of us. And it completely changed the trajectory of the type of cleansing rite that I would perform later on the next day, which was yesterday, to one of my loved ones, one of my friends. And yeah, hers was completely different. It did not have anything to do with the cigar. I cleansed her in a completely different way. But I definitely did use the herbal correspondences section of this book to prescribe her a tea afterward. So there's so many different ways that you can do limpias or spiritual cleansings or cleansing rites. It just really depends on your strength and your background, and also what the client is comfortable with or what the loved one is comfortable with. I personally believe that we should be, like, as practitioners, instead of saying, oh, I work with these spirits or I work this way, so you have to work with them too. I feel like it's more like I have my allies, I have my guides and my spirits, and you have yours, and you need to be able to work with yours as I work with mine, so we can help each other. So it also makes it a lot easier to work with people that may not have the same guides or spirits or deities or gods that you do. So yeah, beautiful experience. Both of them were very beautiful experiences. Like I said, this I have been using mainly for personal use, although it definitely has things that you can use with other people. It would just, like, if you're booking people or if you're like working on people, you do have to pay attention to what time of day you're doing that if you want to incorporate the energies of the sun and the moon as part of your correspondences for those services or those rites. And then this one is just wonderful because it goes through so many cleansing rites that you can use depending on what's available to you and what you're kind of inclined more to use, especially when it comes to different elements. Like if you rather work with fire more than you rather work with water, vice versa. I did want to point out that another thing that I really like about this book is when she gets into the water limpias, which are the cleansing rites involving water, she also goes into formations in which you can do these petitions. Because I think I also mentioned this in the water prompt for Neo-Pagan November, how you can use water in place of candles when you're doing petitions. So right here, she'll show you different formations, like this one's with circles, and it shows you what you want to put where in the formation, and also the correspondences with the moon, if you wanted to use the moon's phase with that working, like if you're trying to bring something in, if you're trying to push something out or get rid of something, etc. So, and then she also goes over like bucket cleansings or baños, which are spiritual baths, briefly, but she covers a lot, specifically, like I said, from the Mesoamerican lens. I really, really love these books, but I'm also really much a fan. Doesn't even make sense. I am very much a fangirl of Erika. I have taken a handful of her classes, her workshops. I have purchased her classes I've purchased all of her classes that she has for sale on her website. I have signed up for her mentorship, and I have also, I think I own every single one of her books right now. I have yet to read the soul retrieval book of hers, and the other book I think I have is like Spirit Animals, and that one I've read the intro, but I haven't read every single animal because it's more of like, to me, a reference book for correspondences with animals. I have grab that book when I've had dreams where a specific animal shows up for me, just so I can get a little bit more of an idea. But eventually, the purpose, me personally, when I dream an animal and I see like, okay, what does this mean? What kind of spirit animal is this? How can it present itself in my life? Or what could it be a sign of? I like to go where oh my gosh. I would like to eventually start journeying with these animals to see what they have to say, if they are going to be a guide or if they are just messengers. But yeah, I just feel like I'm just talking so much. But I've really been enjoying my time with these books, and also the path that I'm following right now in my life really corresponds with these books and also this book. And they have really helped me become, I think, a better facilitator for these ceremonies. And I just feel myself growing exponentially as a practitioner because of it. Yeah, I've just been really enjoying my time. I've been really stepping out of my comfort zone, stepping out of my hermit mode. I think it's time to hush down the hermit. I've been a hermit for way too long. And, you know, it also gives me a sense of power to know that something that I'm not comfortable with is now becoming something I am purposefully stepping into, and I'm doing it in a way that I never thought that I would, to the point that I'm surprising myself. And I love that so much. I think that I have accumulated so much amount of respect for the craft and all of its different facets. And there's just so much more to learn and to read and to experience. And it just really, really fills my life. It makes my life full. There's no other way to put it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop talking there. I really want to finish this book. I have no doubts that I'm gonna finish it, if not tonight, tomorrow in the morning, and then I'll do like the final like vlog review ending of that. And then this one, I have to get through the second half. Already done with this one, and then after this I am going to continue reading the Chaonomicon and see how I feel about that. But so far the experience has been great. I feel like I'm on a reading sprint or marathon before the new year comes, but I'm also really proud of myself because this is going to be the most amount of books I've read in such a short amount of time, in a really, really long time. And especially considering these are all like spiritual type books. They're not the type of books that I can usually get through quickly because I get stuck. I don't see myself getting stuck anymore, and I think that's just a testament to my growth as well. But I'm gonna let you go before this becomes I'm so great video. But yeah, I hope you guys got something useful. If you have any questions, you already know, leave them in the comments. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.